So I just came out of the theater watching the live-action version of Dumbo. The original Dumbo animated movie was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and of course I was eager to see what they did with this live-action version. There's a huge Dumbo poster here behind me, and the little flying elephant is the star of the show. He really is in this movie. I loved this kind of retelling of the original story. The original movie was very, very short. It's one of the shortest Disney animated movies duration-wise, and what I loved what they did with this movie is to expand the story, to broaden it, to take the main themes of the original and then give it much more body. There is a family that is featured, two kids. Their mom is no longer around. I'm not going to spoil too much. Their father returns from the war, and the story of the kids and their experience is linked to the story of Dumbo, because ultimately the movie Dumbo is not that much about a flying elephant, but it's about family. Remember that wonderful song, Baby Mine, which always made me cry in the original animated version, where Dumbo has to say goodbye to his mom who's taken away from him. Well, that theme of what it does to you when you miss your mother, when you don't have a family, and how much you can get stuck without having a family. That is a theme that they broaden from the elephant to all the other characters that surround Dumbo, and I just loved how they did that. The kids are doing a great job. I have to say the older daughter has a much more important role. Her story is, I think, also more relevant to the overall story. Her brother doesn't get much to do, at least not in most of the movie. But I like that they brought in this family to the kind of the whole setting of the little elephant. It makes it more relatable, especially for kids and for families. This is, I think, a very good family movie. Visually, the movie is amazing. It starts small. You see the train arrive. They did a great new CGI rendition of the original train, which I loved in its animated version. And then visually it gets more and more spectacular. The third act is amazing. They create this Disneyland-like circus world, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I want to be in that theme park that they show. And then ultimately, towards the end, it gets all very small again. It shows you that life is not about the show. It's not about appearances, but life is truly, ultimately about family, about relationships, about love. And that is what makes this movie such a success, because it really, I think it succeeds in broadening the theme that was present in the original, and to make it a message for our time. I was very glad that they didn't bring back all the elements from the original movie. The crows, the racist stereotypes in the original, those crows are no longer there. The theme of the feather is still there, and the feather plays a more prominent role in the movie than in the original. The music is amazing. Denny Elfman always works together with Tim Burton. By the way, this was a Tim Burton movie, but not as dark as, let's say, Edward Scissorhands, or kind of the edgy, somewhat darkish, like he did Willy Wonka also. He did Alice in Wonderland. I wasn't a big fan of those. Those are a little bit too, I don't know, too weird for my taste. With Dumbo, you get both the kind of the magical, like, imagination of Tim Burton, but it still is kind of mainstream in the way it looks and the way it's edited. Tim Burton always, most of the time, picks Denny Elfman as the composer. Again, Denny Elfman, not a fan of everything he wrote. This movie was amazing. The music is really, really good, and it helps convey certain emotions, especially when Dumbo flies for the first time. It's the visuals, it's the way they edit it, they build up the tension, and then you've got the music, and it brought me to tears. I was choking up. It was that good. And there were some other moments in the movie where I was really, emotional, and I just loved it. This movie has a lot of big movie stars. You'll recognize them when you see them. That was a little bit distracting especially some of them have bad wigs, and it was like, perhaps I don't know. This story would have worked just as well with unknown actors. But on the whole, it's just a great looking movie, great storytelling. Love what they did with the message of Dumbo. Loved the way they broadened it. So highly recommended. I hope you get to see it, and I hope you'll enjoy it just as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Take care now.